I don't think. First of all, my character was. They gave me the character, and I was like, oh, Zuko. Who's this guy? You know? And they give you the script, and they give you a picture of the character, and the picture of the character is bald-headed Zuko with his ponytail. And he's doing a kick, and I'm like, who's this guy? His name is Zuko. I remember I said to Mike and Brian, like, Zuko? Like Danny Zuko? What are we talking about? And like you look at the script, and the script is like, it says Avatar, The Last Airbender, and it has like these Chinese characters, and it's epic. You know, it's anime, obviously it's anime inspired, and it's like this epic journey. And I'm like, this is not Nickelodeon.
Right.
Like, this is never gonna make it on the air.
Right. Well, this is like a lot of people's first introduction to like multi-episode arcs, right?
Totally.
Almost everything's episodic before.
I thought for sure. I mean, I didn't know. Look, we know. Sometimes we all think we know too much, and I just didn't think it was gonna like. This was a Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like this is maybe Disney XD or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So we did, and I thought it was cool when we were doing it. But then you also got to realize this is before we have the internet, like we have the internet today.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no response. And part of me was like, this is a Nickelodeon show. It was just for like, supposedly, I guess for kids from like 9 to 12 or something, you know?
Sure.
So I was like, it's a cool show, and it was actually fascinating. It was like weird stuff going on. Like, I was like, oh no, we killed all the airbenders? Yeah. This is the last airbender. And there was a lot of them before. They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's genocide.
Right.
What is this show? This is not funny. What is this? I'm like, what kind of show is Nickelodeon doing? And so you just roll with it, like you're an actor, we do work, and it's cool. I mean, actually the story and the scripts are very fascinating, and we got to like second and third season, like, wow, what's going on? Like, did you see what's happening? What's Zuko doing? Hold up, we were like having those conversations as actors, but we had no idea that A, anybody was watching the show,
Sure.
or B, that people were really enjoying the show. One of the first inklings I had was like, I was shooting a movie called Take the Lead in Toronto, and one of the actors, an adult, was like, I kept leaving the set, right? Because on Thursday we do the recording. Matter of fact, one of the days, this movie Take the Lead with Antonio Banderas, right? And one day I leave, and Antonio was like, Dante, where are you going? You keep leaving. Like, where are you going? I'm like, I have a cartoon I do for Nickelodeon. And then Antonio's like, oh, you're a voice actor. I'm like, yeah. He goes, me too. I'm like, yeah, man, you're Puss in Boots. We all know what you do. He's like, we're both I love Antonio. He's like, we're both voice actors. He's like, we're talking about stuff. And I go off to set one of the other actresses is an adult. He's like, what show are you? What is it? Show him. I do a little cartoon for like Nickelodeon. What you think is just for kids, you know? And this guy's like in his 20s. He's like, what show? I'm like, it's called Avatar. You know? He goes, what? And he freaks out. He's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Zuko. He's like, you're the Fire Prince? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you watch this cartoon? He's like, that's my stuff. And so he came with me to one of the recordings. He was geeking out. And I was like, this is so weird. And then I remember going for promoting that movie. I ended up going to Sundance Film Festival that year. And I was there promoting the film, but then I run into Jason Isaacs, right? And Jason Isaacs, he played General Zhao, right? Oh, well, when he was doing it outside, when he was in the booth, I was like, this is Lucius Malfoy. Like, his voice is so crazy. I was like, damn, it's Lucius Malfoy. But he's so cool, but we run into each other in the streets of Sundance. This is when I first found out, like, it was kind of crazy, because when we were at Sundance, everyone was talking about the car. I am trying to promote this movie, but then everyone's talking about Avatar too, right? At a film festival.
Yeah.
They're talking about this cartoon show that in my mind is for kids on Nickelodeon. And I thought I was going crazy. I was like, what about this movie I did? But then I run into Jason Isaacs. We're in the middle of the streets in Utah and snowing, and Jason's like, Dante. He's like, mate, like, what's this cartoon we did? Like, everyone's talking about this cartoon. And I'm like, I know. He goes, this is crazy. I'm like, that's when we both were like, whoa, well, we did something a little more, more impactful than we knew. So that was the first time I really started feeling like we did something special.
Totally. So more on Avatar, you've probably been asked this a lot. Which character from the show do you find yourself relating to the most?
I mean, I am Zuko. So, I mean, definitely Zuko because because I went through the whole story, and I was going through a lot of stuff in my life during the time I was doing Zuko, so I really, he means a lot to me, and I'm glad it means a lot to other people, but he was, I was just going through a lot of stuff that made sense for me to play Zuko at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, I like Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Jet's very Rufio to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like him because I like, the thing about the show that's really wonderful about Avatar: The Last Airbender is, I grew up with a lot of we all grew up with a lot of cartoons, but the Gen Xers, we grew up with cartoons that I love, Thundercats and He-Man, and Transformers. But these are like Transformers, right? There's like Autobots and Decepticons, like that's what we grew up with, but that's not really the world. The world's not just black and white. It's not a binary world. And when you go to Avatar, there's so much nuance with the 4 nations, and there's good and evil in each nation, and there's characters like Jet that really, it's very great. There's a lot of gray areas in the world,
right.
So I kind of like Jet about like that,
That's a good, yeah, absolutely. Okay, this one is a little wordy, so I'm going to just read directly and make sure I get it all right. But I think it's good. So, there is something to be said about the longevity of Avatar. It's 2026, and we have a new animated Avatar movie on Paramount+. Netflix's live-action version is putting out a 2nd season, and we have a new Avatar fighting game coming out soon. Why do you think people still connect to these stories and characters?
Yeah, it's wonderful to see the world expand, I think it's Avatar, when you watch it, first of all, it's a phenomenon. It was very impactful when it first came out, and it was really special.
Mm-hmm.
But then we all went through a thing called COVID,
Yeah.
and we all were in lockdown, and then it came back
Mm-hmm.
during COVID, and it was another weird phenomenon happened that can only happen in like this time because it's the first time we ever had streamers, and all of a sudden Netflix became more watched than network television.
Right.
So during that time, a show that we did at that time was 15 years we did it before, came back and became the #1 show on Netflix, which became the #1 show in the world.
Yeah.
A show that we've done over a decade plus before.
Right.
Never in the history has anything like this happened because
No.
it wasn't possible for that to happen. But then when people found it during the lockdown, when you watched the show in that period of time, it was so poignant to everything that was going on in very weird ways. So that world kind of keeps going. I mean,
Yeah.
the great thing about what Mike and Brian created is they're very, they question the world, and they look at our world and are inspired by the world. So that through animation, there's still a lot of things that are so poignant for the times we're living in right now.
Right.
We're living in some really wild times there are no black and white answers to anything. There's a lot of gray, and there's a lot of questions, and so I think it just reflects the time that it's coming out in.
Absolutely.
So I think that's why it really still kind of impacts a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have done 4 seasons of the Avatar Companion podcast, Avatar: Braving the Elements, that you host with Jeanette Varney, the voice of Korra in Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
What was it like going back and revisiting the show 20 or so years down the line?
It was wild. It was crazy because I never really watched the show until I lived the show,
Right.
and it was actually wild because it's so, I don't know. I'm not, a lot of actors, we kind of just, really I know I'm like stumbling a lot to get my words together here, but for actors, a lot of us don't really watch the stuff we do. With an audience, right? And we're audiences and we're fans of things too. Our relationship with the films and the television and the things that we're fans of is, as an audience, is watching it and having that experience, right? And how it kind of relates to your life in that period. But for the filmmaking side of it, our experience of the projects is the doingness
Yes.
of it, and that's really where my memory and my feeling of the project happens. So a lot of times you never really watch the things you do. You may watch it like at a premiere or at a screening with folks, and then you don't really watch it because your memory of it is the doingness of it.
Yes.
And on top of that, while I was doing Avatar, it was kind of like a traumatic time in my life, which was very traumatic for Zuko too. So I kind of there's a blacking out of of that period of my life. I was like, I don't remember doing all of it because I was just kind of living this strange time in my life. So going back for the podcast, having the opportunity to watch the show, I watched the show, I've seen it, but I never really watched it in chronological order.
Right.
Like that. And so for doing that with Janet Varney was wild, because I was like, wow, reliving the whole thing just as a fan. So, and it was, plus, again, it was over 10 years, 10, 15 years ago, so I got to really see it in a new place and time. And it was really cool. It really impacted me in a lot of ways, because it's just the characters, the stories, and also my friends, hearing my friends' voices and work was really, really, really cool, and kind of, I got to re-experience the whole show for the first time.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. So a little bit different from Avatar. I'm a YouTuber. That's how I ended up here. And
Okay.
one of the bigger videos I did was in collaboration with Date Everything, which you were a part of.
Oh, cool.
And so I wanted to ask.
Did you play?
Oh yeah. I
Did we go on a date? How did it go? What was our ending? Love ending or friend zone? What did we do?
It went great. I don't remember. It's been about a year. I can't remember if it was friendship or love, but I remember it was.
It was great.
It meant something.
Awesome.
So thank you. But I wanted to ask, because I'm friends now because of that situation. I'm friends with Lux's voice actor, Michael Lors.
Okay.
And so when I was talking with him, when he auditioned, because they look like twins, they look like the exact same person,
Right.
and it was just complete coincidence, not meant to happen.
Okay.
So your character is named Dante.
Right.
Was this another coincidence, or was this with you in mind of acting in this?
I think I don't feel it. So, Date Everything is done by all friends. We're all voice acting friends, right? So, Robbie Damon, Ray, Max Milden, they were the Lava Boys and their crew, and then they created this video game, and so they just asked me to do it. And so it's cool. We're all creatives and we're all artists and we're all entrepreneurs in our own way. So it's great to be able to support each other. And so they asked me to do it, and so I was like, yeah. When I went in there, they're like, you're playing Dante. I'm like, what? And if you're playing this character named Dante, I was like, okay, his name's Dante, and he's a fireplace. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, I didn't really understand the game. Even when we were doing it at first, I was like, hold up, I'm the fireplace? And they're like, yeah. And I'm doing all these lines, and I'm like, I don't get it, you guys. And Robbie's directing me through it. And he just trust me. I'm like, okay. We did a few days of recording. And it was very cool. And even after we finished the whole thing, I'm like, I don't get it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So when it came out, it's done really well. I'm like, it's very cool to be part of the whole thing.
Totally. How is voicing a video game versus a TV show or a movie or anything like that?
Video game's different because, when you're doing a TV show or a film, there's a whole script and you kind of go through the scenes, and the scenes are it's like TV. Hopefully you're with the same people in the room and everything.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a video game, you just have hundreds of lines you have to do that are in abstract. You may not even know why you're doing these lines. Right. And so you got to do all these lines, and hopefully the right director will set it up why you're saying this line, but you may not know because you're not knowing what anyone else is saying most of the time.
Right.
And then on top of that, you got to go back and you have to do sounds, because a lot of times it's fighting games or grunts or kicks or punches, and then all kinds of stuff. So you're just doing all these abstract kind of sounds for them to fill up sound banks that they can kind of color the character with, but it's just hours and hours of abstract kind of sounds and lines sometimes. And you got to kind of figure out what your character is as you go through.
Totally. Now, outside of voice acting, can you tell us about the work that you've been doing behind the camera as a writer and producer?
Yeah, so I became a producer about 15 years ago. So, and the stuff I produce and I write and I direct And what happened was actually still connected to Avatar in a lot of ways. The original actor of Uncle Iroh, Mako, passed away in book 2. And it was like the second, third year we were recording. But Mako had been he's been a mentor in my life, but also a friend and an actor who played my uncle or my father several times throughout my career. I think I first met him when I was 12. And so when he passed away, it was kind of hard on everybody, and he's Uncle Iroh, you know? But he also started a theater company in Los Angeles called East West Players, which I grew up doing some plays in, writing plays, and being around there. East West Players is the longest going theater for people of color in America.
Yeah.
And Mako's one of the founding members of that whole place. He helped build that place. So when he passed away, even in his passing, it was very Uncle Iroh in a way. It was like I kind of understood that. You know, I'm in that same lineage of Asian actors, and it's kind of time for me in my life too to like pay it forward to the next generation.
Right.
And you know, I didn't start a theater company; I started a production company. So I started producing movies and writing movies exclusively with Asian leads to just really give the next generation some opportunities that I did not have growing up, and kind of creating these vehicles for some of the YouTubers like Ed Jumba, AJ Raphael, Tim Dilligan, like working with these cats, and so. That kind of started me as producing, so I started producing and writing and directing. And the last film I directed is called The Fabulous Filipino Brothers, which premiered in South by Southwest Film Festival. So just, you know, kind of continue my Hollywood journey.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And then final question before we can take some questions from the audience, I think. Are there any upcoming projects that you're able to share that you're excited about with the audience?
I mean, share. I don't know. We're doing a podcast 5th season right now, so we're in the middle of shooting that, and that'll drop shortly. We'll talk about the movie for sure, and we also talk about the new series 7 Havens for Avatar, which I've got to see the first 5 episodes, and we've been recording that. It's been really, really wonderful. And beyond that, just more. There's more films that we're doing on my directing side, producing side, a lot of indie stuff, and There's a few animation stuff going on, but I don't know what's coming out soon, so we'll see.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can take some questions from the audience, and feel free to pick whoever you want, Dante.
Yeah, right here. One, two, both of you.
You can go first.
So, obviously, being a kid, things are very black and white to a point. Avatar The Last Airbender I remember being my first time seeing something more gray, and not that there isn't just good and bad, and like I remember kind of hating Zuko and then loving Zuko and not realizing that was an option, and it blew my 8-year-old mind. And I've rewatched it probably like 100 times since I was a child, and then as a teenager and then an adult, and I find that I always discover new things every time that I watch it. But I was wondering, now that you are watching it and after the process of recording it, what you may have learned from Zuko or just from the show, or even like recording compared to going back and watching it, and also what you hope future generations take away from it as well?
Yeah, I mean, Zuko's interesting. I think he's such a beloved character by a lot of people because, I mean, that the redemption arc, right? People come to be like, I think, and a lot of people, even people in the industry, are like, I think this is like one of the greatest redemption arcs ever written, and which is like, I'm honored I got to play it. When I watch it again, it really hits you because you rarely get to see any real character or anyone in life really change. Like you get to see their real change, and that's really the special thing about Zuko, right? Is to see him really change. Like you said, I didn't like him either. I'm playing the guy at the beginning. I'm like, I don't know about this dude at all. Like, I felt like I was like Wile E. Coyote of an Avatar, where I was just chasing this Avatar. And I didn't really understand who he was either. And then you see this whole amazing change happen in this character. And I think that's what we all hope to seeing ourselves and seeing others. And I hope that's what people take away from it, is like really to give yourself grace and to give others grace, and understand that, you know, the people that you may think are your worst enemies could actually be your biggest allies. And so don't really judge. You can't judge people so quickly, you know? I mean, for me, it was that lesson with Zuko and the whole thing of Avatar. Like when I was doing it, I didn't know what this project was or what we were getting into, and then, you know, it really completely changed my life in a lot of ways. And so Avatar is just a reminder for me to leave room in life to be surprised. Thank you. Next question.
Alright, so since Gager was like a hip hop kid, like who's your favorite hip hop artist?
I mean, it changes all the time. I mean, lately, you know, I'm into some of the new kids, J. Cole. It's kind of like feeling a little some type of way about the whole Kendrick Drake beef, because I kind of like both of them, but I'm like West Coast. Kendrick killed it. I mean, I'm a big Jay-Z fan for sure from the 90s. I mean, I'm very excited that he's back on tour, and so I want to try to catch a show somewhere around the country. But I mean, I'm kind of like a backpack rapper kind of dude, so I mean, we're in Long Island. I'm a big fan of De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, all the Native Tongue unit like that. And then from the West Coast at the same time, there's cats like Farside, and I mean the whole, you know, Common from New York, like that kind of. I'm like really into like storytellers and lyricists like that. But you know, I'm also from the West Coast, so NWA was a big influence on us growing up. Tupac, you know, Tupac, Biggie, that whole era. You know, I saw Biggie the day before he got shot in LA. He was at the Beverly Center Mall, and was like, he was with little C's, and was like, "What's up, Biggie?" You know, he was cool. And then I saw Tupac like the day before he got shot too.
That's crazy.
No, it's weird. We were at a party in West LA, and then Tupac rolled up like solo. He was in a all orange suit with matching orange gator shoes, and he had like a little Hermes kind of like briefcase with him. For sure had a gun in it. And we was like, "What's up, Pac?" And he just gave daps, and then he went to Vegas that week and got killed. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully the police don't put two and two together with that.
No, I mean, because like I'm more of you guys, and like there's certain things that get talked about, and like it could be like I talked to my parents about the Beatles, like, "Oh, you were around when the Beatles were around," you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, "No, but we were." Yeah, I was like, we were around. Like they were like people. Now they're like legends, but in those days they were like in the club. You know what I'm saying? And we were like all in the same kind of club scene, you know? So, yeah, that's weird.
I think we have time for maybe
Yeah, some more questions in the back. What's up, the yellow in the back? What's popping?
How you doing?
What's your name?
Cliff.
What's up, Cliff?
Powerline for today.
Oh, Powerline. What's up? Powerline.
So it's a quick question. You know, your career, you have, you had vast roles for plenty of characters. But a lot of people kind of talk about Avatar, and when you played Zuko, how do you feel when people will recognize you for other Zuko roles? I remember like one time I was watching TV and Adult Swim at night, I was watching the Boondocks. You played
Deep
a character.
cut.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm thinking like, everyone comes to you like, "Oh, you play Zuko," but how does it feel when people maybe recognize you for like other roles or other characters?
I mean, I dig it. I've been an actor for 40 years, right? Which is like longer than most of you on this room been alive. Most of you. And, I consider myself, look, man, I'm a blue-collar kid from outside the Bay, the Bay outside the city, and I grew up in Hollywood, and I consider myself a blue-collar actor. Like, I've been around a long time, and it's kind of cool because I can pop up anywhere to a degree, and there's a generation that we grew up together. So every character, every every kind of thing you do means something in your life, and it's great that certain characters, I've been fortunate that certain characters have become famous or popular. People know me for certain characters. But every kind of character, everything means something to me, and it's cool when certain little characters mean something to someone, and we kind of connect over that moment. So, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm a journeyman actor that's out there, and I continue to act and a filmmaker now. So it's cool. I like to talk about the stuff that became very popular in the pop culture, and it's really cool to be kind of part of the zeitgeist of whatever things, right? But every role is cool. So if it meant something to you and people talking about certain things, I think I can dig that for sure. Thank you. And I have another question.
Yeah, one more. We got
One more? One more? I know. Okay, go right here. Yes, what's your...
Me?
Sean, right?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
what's up, Sean?
I want to know which moment from both Avatar: The Last Airbender and American Dragon Jake Long do you find both the funniest and the most emotionalist?
The funniest and the most emotionalist is what she said. I'm gonna use that word too because I like it. Emotionalist. I mean, the funny. I don't know. Like it's different because we're just kind of in the booth doing stuff as opposed to like seeing and experiencing as the whole show. So the funniest. I don't know about fun. My character wasn't that funny that often, but I just thought I found things funny watching Jack DeSena do a lot of his role as Sokka and being in the room to watch him do stuff like the Cactus Juice episode and stuff like that. He was awesome. He's hilarious, and he was on all that. We were really good friends at that time. He was like a Nick Star, and it was great to see him do his work. And I always kind of envied that. I love the funny guys because I don't always do the funny thing. Doing chorus, seeing PJ do Bolin, hilarious. As far as emotionalists, both of them, like I said, I was going through some real crazy emotional times myself, and so there was two storylines. The story of Zuko and being banished, I was kind of going through my own exile with family and this really bad situation I was in with an acting school, and Zuko was going through that, so that's very emotional. But also, it was the same time Jake Long was going against the Dark Dragon. The craziest thing was like, I was like breaking up with this teacher I had for 20 years. I was like leaving her school. It was very, we all have our private wars, and you look back and it kind of doesn't seem like that crazy. But when you're in certain things, it was like, you're like in the middle of your own private war, and it's life and death situations going on. I'm basically leaving my teacher of 20 years, and I have to confront her. The same week, Jake Long has to confront the Dark Dragon and is going against this whole thing, and I'm like really emotional and tripping, and I'm reading the scripts to Jake Long, and it's like Jake is talking to me about confronting my Dark Dragon and having to go through that fire. And it was really incredibly ironic, and I thank Jake for that. He really helped get me through that part of my life. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.